We're going on the record. The time is 9:07 a.m. Today's date is January 5th, 2024. This is media unit number 1 of the video recorded deposition of Marva Herndon. This is taken in the matter of Folaron versus Milwaukee Public Schools. This case is filed in the state of Wisconsin, Department of Workforce Development, Equal Rights Division. Case number CR 2022-01352. EEOC case number 26G2022-00932. Our deposition is being held at Cross Law Firm located at 845 North 11th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My name is Mike DeGell and I am the videographer for today's deposition. At this time I will ask counsel to state their name, appearance affiliation for the record, then the court reporter will swear in witness.
Ben Hitchcock Cross of Cross Law Firm, appearing for the complainant, Folaron.
Chris Herndon of Von Briesen and Roper on behalf of the respondent, as well as Marva Herndon.
Okay, ma'am, I need to swear you in. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Before we go on with the questioning, first I'm going to object to this deposition being video recorded.
Okay.
Because one, the videographer, I believe, is not authorized to take a video.
Okay.
In addition, this was not noticed as a video deposition.
Okay.
So I believe the camera should be turned off.
I appreciate that.
And you're not going to do so, right?
I'm not going to do so, no.
Also, I object to Deb Keither being in this deposition. As you know, the court issued an order on August 2nd, 2023, in which he stated, in granting the respondent's motion, the administrative law judge considered that Keither is not a party to this case and as a member of the public does not have a right to attend the deposition. Pre-trial depositions are not public components of a trial and are not open to the public. So I object to Ms. Keither being here as well.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And is she going to leave?
I don't believe so.
So you're going to do this against the court's order?
Sure, so I don't respond to that, but I don't believe that the court order pertained to anything other than the Peterson deposition.
Actually, I just read the court order.
You read parts of the court order?
Yes, and the court order said that no member of the public is entitled to be at a pre-trial deposition.
I didn't hear that.
Then you're not listening.
Okay.
Let me read it again for you.
Thank you.
In granting the respondent's motion, the administrative law judge considered that Keither is not a party to this case and as a member of the public does not have a right to attend the deposition. Pre-trial depositions are not public components of a trial and are not open to the public.
Okay.
Ms. Keither is not a party to this case, is she?
That's correct.
And she's a member of the public, correct?
In some senses, she could be a member
So
of the
she's
public.
violating the court's order, correct?
No, I don't agree with that.
Well, I object to her presence, and I think she's violating the court order as I read it. If you don't understand it, that's a different story.
No, I do understand it.
And it said that no member of the public is to be present during a pre-trial deposition.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Okay. Any other things you'd like to get on the record?
Yeah, again, I'd object to Mr. DeGale being here as well because he's a member of the public.
Okay.
And he is not a licensed videographer. So we cannot take this deposition, nor was this noticed as a videotape deposition. So again, the videotape should shut off and Mr. DeGale leave the room as well.
Okay. Thank you.
And again, you're not going to do that.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Guy is still present, so is Ms. Keither, correct? And you're allowing them to be here during this deposition as well as it being videotaped, correct?
Okay. Anything else you'd like to get on the record?
No, I want an answer.
Okay.
Is that true?
All right.
So, again, Ms. Keither is here on your permission. Mr. Guy is here on your permission. Mr. Guy is taking this videotape deposition, although he's not authorized to do so by the state, and you did not notice it as a videotape deposition.
Thank you for that. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Is that correct?
I'm not responding to that. Anything else you'd like to state?
No, not at this time.
Thank
Other
you.
than you're violating many orders and statutes.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay. Director Herndon, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
How would you like me to address you?
Marva is fine,
Okay. And it's Marva, I'm pronouncing that right?
yes.
Okay. And are you a director on the Milwaukee Public School Board?
Yes, I am.
How long have you had that position?
This is my 5th year.
5th year, okay. Have you been re-elected then?
I was re-elected in spring of 2023 and also elected president of the board at that time.
Okay. Why did you become a member of the school board?
I spent many years as a researcher and advocate for Milwaukee Public Schools. I'm also a graduate, as well as my children.
Okay. And when you said researcher for Milwaukee Public Schools, what does that mean?
It's a community organizer, basically, after I retired.
Okay, so did you ever work for MPS at any time?
Never.
Okay. And do you hold a particular position as an officer with the school board?
My position is that I'm to work and do the best for the children.
Okay. So are you the president of the school board?
Yes.
Okay. When did you become president?
April of 2023, I don't know the exact date.
Okay. And you said before your job is to do the best for the children. Is that right?
Correct.
What does that mean to you?
For me, it means that the goal is to educate the children, to provide the services that they need, to work towards getting the funding that's needed to operate the schools, and provide the services to the students as well as the staffing therein.
And how does the president of the school board accomplish that?
For one, you have to have some knowledge and background. The other thing is that the district is a multi-million-dollar corporation, so you should have some financial knowledge as well.
Okay. Do you have financial knowledge?
Yes.
How do you have that knowledge?
I'm a computer programmer by profession and spent many years teaching financial software.
Okay. And you said it was a multi-million-dollar corporation.
I personally consider it as such.
Okay. Isn't it true that it's really a multi-billion-dollar corporation?
That I couldn't answer.
Okay. Is one of your duties as the district president to read the budget for the district?
To be able to read it and understand it, yes,
Do you do that
absolutely,
every time?
yes.
Okay. Do you read the whole thing?
Not by memory.
No. Okay. So it's fair to say, I guess let me ask it a different way. Do you read the entire thing then?
I read through most of it.
Okay. But it's fair to say that although you don't read the entire thing, you do have an understanding of the entire budget. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. And how do you know if you don't read the entire thing that you have an understanding of the whole budget?
Because there are ways that you can determine that.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Well, one, you're going to look at assets and liabilities first and foremost.
Okay.
After that, you're going to go into the detail of the expenditures versus the revenues coming in.
Okay. And do you do that for each budget?
Pretty much.
Okay. Are there any, okay. Well, is this the whole thing?
Yep, this one.
So we'll put this in as exhibit. I think you want it, please. Is this Chris's copy? That's my copy. Okay. All right. So this document in front of you, can you identify this document?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Why not?
It says July 2023, June 2024.
Okay. And how does that prevent you from identifying the document?
Because we had to wait until October in order to get what the budget was going to be coming from the state. And I have not had time to thoroughly review that. At the same time, with the budget, we're having to make modifications which I'm not privy to
Okay,
as of this time.
what does that mean? You have to make modifications that you're not privy to?
Adjustments from lack of funding.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I still don't know, what is an adjustment for lack of funding?
Simply that, whereas we may have began with an expectation, that expectation did not come to fruition. And so then we have to make adjustments.
So you were expecting more money, but you didn't get as much as you were expecting, and so now you have to change the budget, is that fair?
I would say so.
Okay, and how is it that there are some aspects of that you're not privy to as the president of the school board?
I'm going to object to the former questions brought in vague, also relevance of this whole line of questioning, but go ahead and answer.
Because I'm not the CFO.
Okay. And how does that answer my question?
Because
The former questions brought in vague, go ahead and answer.
it's not my responsibility to build the budget.
Okay. So, and I think the question that we're just working on right now is simply, are you able to identify Exhibit 1? And you're saying that you're not able to identify, correct me if I'm wrong, because you haven't read this particular budget. Is that fair?
That is correct. I don't remember reading it, but I see a lot of them.
Okay.
And we're hit all at once pretty much because all of a sudden you get the funding and then you make modifications and the list goes on. And in a situation that occurred this year, there's been multiple expectations, but the bottom line is we don't get the final until October.
Okay, so this document that you're not able to identify, you would have gotten as late as, early as October. Is that fair?
It could have been earlier, but the fact is, the matter is, it would have been primarily a draft because we don't get the funding until, we don't know what the final budget is from the state until October.
I got it. Okay. So when I'm using the word verify or identify, I'm just asking you if you're able to tell me what this document is based on your knowledge and experience. Are you able to at least tell us what this document is?
Yes, it's a proposed budget, which is what I'm just saying about the October one coming through.
Okay. So, and then based on your answers, I guess, is it fair to say that you haven't read this entire document?
I have not.
Okay. Have you read any part of this document?
I couldn't say. I'd have to look at it and see.
Okay. And just to be clear, this is one budget for 1 year. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it looks to be about an inch tall. Is that true?
If that's the whole thing, most of them are much bigger than that.
Okay. So, but it's fair that although you haven't read this one in its entirety, all the other, I think, 5 budgets for while you've been director, you've read all of those more or less. Okay.
You have to answer out loud.
I'm sorry. Pretty much so, because we're allowed to make modifications to the budget if we have the excess funding available to do so.
Okay.
And you aren't allowed to do that otherwise.
Okay. When did you first hear about this deposition?
Oh, I was informed of a deposition some time ago, but more recently is when I got the notification that it was actually occurring.
Okay. Did you believe that there was a deposition prior to receiving the notice that was not actually occurring?
I don't know what
I'm
you
sorry, I'm
mean.
going to object to the former questions brought in vague also. It's incomprehensible, but go ahead and answer if you can.
I just got an email months ago
Okay.
indicating that I would be called for a deposition. And I never heard anything else after that until more recently.
Okay. Were you ever, before getting this notice, were you ever asked to provide any dates for a deposition?
At one point I was, yes.
And did you ever respond?
And that was recently I did respond.
Okay. And about when was that you responded?
I was in the last several weeks, I could say a month.
Okay. So prior to the last several weeks, you've never responded at all to any request for sitting for scheduling a deposition in
I
this case?
never received a specific request, but I did respond that I'd be willing to do so.
Okay, I appreciate that, makes sense. So, and I guess just to clarify for me, you received a notice that you might potentially be deposed, but you never were requested for any specific dates. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Get moving. Staring me down is not gonna help.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Yes. The guilty conscience. Okay, so, is this a separate document?
That is the year before, yes.
Okay. So we'll mark this as Exhibit 2, please.
They're both in the board notice.
Sure. I don't know if you need to look at that, but it's just a public. All right, I'm gonna show you Exhibit 2. Can you identify that document, please?
This is the budget that we adopted for 2021, 2022.
Okay, and this is an example of a budget that you have read, correct?
Right.
Okay, and did you vote on that budget?
Yes,
How did you vote on that budget?
I voted to approve it.
Okay. Why did you vote to approve it?
Well, for one, we were in the middle of COVID. For two, the budget was tight as normal. And we had to make it work, and we've done a lot of work on it, especially with the COVID funding and the lack of funding from the state.
Okay. I'll get back to lack of funding. Okay. Are you on any committees for the MPS board?
Yes,
What are those committees?
as president, accountability, finance, and personnel.
Okay. Do you ever review any pay increases in those positions?
Yes, there are pay increases.
Okay. Do you know who Keith Posley is?
Yes,
Who is Keith Posley?
the superintendent of the district.
Okay. Have you ever voted to give Keith Posley a raise anytime?
Yes,
Why did you do that? Let's back up, and I apologize, I'm gonna strike that question. Can you identify how many times you've done that while you've been on the board?
I would say twice.
Twice, okay. And why did you do that the first time?
Well, because I think that he's done a good job and he followed the rules that were put forth. And it is a heavy, heavy job, and that was the end of that.
Okay. So why do you think Keith Posley is doing a good job?
The responsibility is humongous, and I know that the district has been underfunded for far, far, far too many years. So a person that's willing to try to operate a district of this size with lack of funding and other things, and they work for the betterment of the students rather than themselves. Yes.
Okay. Does Mr. Posley's race have anything to do with why you think he's doing a good job?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So then we can focus, we're saying, from what I understood, the sole reason why you think he's doing a good job is because he's willing to operate in a school district that is underfunded. Is that fair?
I'm going to object to the form of the question. It's broad and vague. It misrepresents her previous testimony. As well, I'm going to object to this whole line of questioning because it's irrelevant to this matter, but go ahead and answer if you can.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Are you able to read it back, please?